Hello and welcome to today's video. So this time I've taken a batch of about another 80 or so vintage 1950s Penguin books, and these are the next ones in my collection that we haven't been through. I'm going to give them all a good clean, a brushing, and make them as good as possible. So without further ado, sit back, relax, and let's get to it. Okay then, so we're starting off with Penguin 690, which is part of that run of 10 Agatha Christie's. And as we sort of go through these, any that I think are particularly low grade, I am going to make a little note of as ones to potentially upgrade. And this is one such one. So I'd like my Christie's to be in as good a condition as possible. And this one is a little bit low grade. I may already have this one on my list of ones to upgrade, but just in case, when I come to the editing stage, I'll have my Penguin Wants list in front of me, and I've got a list of ones that I'm looking for just the book, and also a list of ones which I've already got the book, but I want to upgrade it. So that is one such one. So it's got that bit down at the bottom there. It's not exactly the greatest of shape, is it? So that's that one. Mystery of the Blue Train, this is the last one, 691. This one's a bit better. So I hope you enjoyed last week's video where I started to go through the very first part of my large format books. I certainly enjoy going through them. Something a bit different to paperbacks. It's nice to mix it up a little bit. And we've got an awful lot of those to go through. I mean, I don't know how many videos it would take to do the lot, but probably at least a dozen, maybe more. I don't know. Yeah, that one's, I mean, it's not perfect, but it will do, in all honesty. Now here's one of those big double volumes here for D.H. Lawrence. And the thing is, the books in Penguin's numbering that came after number 500 are ones that I've generally picked up when I first started collecting, really. So they're copies that I found like in second-hand shops, jumble sales, boot sales, charity shops, that sort of thing. And often they could all really do with an upgrade, but I've just not had that many through my hands to like compare. But now that I've got to the stage where I only need 4 Penguins for the first 1,000, I am very much looking to improve the quality of the 1,000 that I've got. So when those opportunities arise, I'm going to jump on it, really. 694, High Wind in Jamaica. And these really are from a period of Penguin where the books are just gorgeous to hold, gorgeous to look at, and gorgeous to read. This is the very tail end of 1949, the ones that we're looking at now. Geoffrey Household. See lots and lots of little marks inside this one. We've got a, looks like a 2 shilling or a 2 and 6, a 1 and 6. Then that looks like a little reader's mark M, and then September 1995, which may have been the last time somebody read this one, or maybe that's when it went into someone's stock in a bookshop. Difficult to tell, isn't it? But thankfully all these marks are in pencil, so they're easy to get out. Now, unfortunately this time round we're not going to be able to do any polishing because these books are just too old, and the covers are paper, of course. They're not glossy like, say, some of the Pans and the annuals like last week, so we won't be able to do any polishing at all. We'll just need to give them a brush, and I'll brush as we go along, basically. So I'll wait till we've got a big pile, then we'll get them brushed, and then I'll go back to looking through the actual copies here again. It's a nice one there, nice and bright. Here's a biography title. We have got lots and lots of crime to look at this time, which is always cool. Crime titles are amongst my favourites. In fact, a lot of people just collect the Penguin crime. That's literally all they bother with. I like the variety. Now here's one of my favourite authors, C.S. Forester. Big fan of the Hornblower books. Although this isn't actually one of those, but it's by the same author. Penguin did go on to do all the Hornblower books. Looks like something's been pinned inside that one, doesn't it? And it's slightly miscut. So $6.98 I'll put on the upgrade list because it's a really easy one to get hold of. It's not really difficult at all. $6.99. And that one there is virtually new. $700. So I've pulled down a complete box, absolutely crammed full of vintage Penguins this time round. This is a real classic, Farewell My Lovely. And I see it's got a little bit of glue required at the top and bottom. So I thought I had a bit of copy of this one. Funny, isn't it? Because I've seen copies reasonably recently on these, like in the last year, for like £6-7, which was actually a bargain. Because I believe this Penguin edition, is actually the first printing of it anywhere in the UK. Not the first like hardback, because it came out in paperback first. I believe this is like a PPO, a paperback original. And consequently it goes for about £15 to £20 in really nice shape. But I have turned a couple of nice shape ones down because I just already had it. And they were only about £7, and I'm sort of regretting that now because this copy's a little bit worse than I remembered. I've had it a long time, so this is a perfect example of a book that I thought I actually had quite a nice copy of. In actual fact, I might put it on the list as number 701, Farewell My Lovely, as one to try and get an even better one, because it's quite a key book, that by Raymond Chandler. Murder on Leave. And it's funny, some of these I can sort of feel like little bits, I don't know, something that's stuck to the cover, just in a few cases. Still 1949. It's a bit of a grubby one, isn't it? You find that sometimes, that the bigger the book, sometimes the grubbier they get. And this looks like one that I've picked up very much second hand somewhere. It says first edition, but it's in a terrible old state. So this is definitely going to go on my upgrade list. So that's number 703, Sonia, Stephen McKenna. A better copy is required. 704, that's a nice one, isn't it? Presentable. Wouldn't you look young there? So again, this has had something pinned on the inside, pin covers. But apart from that, it's actually a really nice copy. So I don't think that's too detracting. So I think I'm gonna keep that one there. Another one. This is part of a trio by Najee Marsh, a collectible crime author. I wouldn't say as collectible as Agatha Christie, but she's in the ballpark. It's funny how many of these have got some sort of markings inside. It just reflects the fact that these were some of the, like the Pans, were some of the earliest paperbacks that I ever bought. And they've just not, as I bought them, I've not put them through any sort of cleaning at all. So they're pretty much, in a lot of cases, how I bought them. But that one is, I don't know, it's very borderline, isn't it? It doesn't massively warrant me to rush out and buy another one, but it's not great. And this one's similar. This is 706. So I will put 705 and 706 on the upgrade list, simply because, well, they're just a bit worn. But it's a crime title, so, you know, it's sort of the way, isn't it, you know? Right, so as I said, I think what we'll do, rather than do all the brushing at the end, which can be slow and monotonous, we're going to go along and do it as we sort of come across these. So that's them looking a lot better. Of course, where these are stored in my collection, they're generally stored with like a beer towel over it to stop the dust settling on the top. But of course, that doesn't solve what they may have picked up in the decades before they ended up in my collection, of course. And that's what we're brushing off here, really. Yeah, these couple of Naomi Marshes really do need an upgrade, really, now that I've got them out. Quite low grade. Still, we won't cry over that. Right. Cracking on them. The Romantic Exiles. Excellent intentions. Now this one appears to have been published a little bit later. It's still 1949. It's one of those ones with a slightly different sort of cover design on them. That's all. A Kiss of Death. Contract Bridge. I like card games, you know, and I enjoy playing cards when I play cards. It's just I've never got into bridge, not once. I've never really known anyone who was really into it to sort of say, "Oh, give this a try," sort of thing, you know. So consequently, I've never got into it, but I hear it's fun. Another example of just something that was just on the cover, some sort of ancient bit of dirt, which just sort of took my fingernail to go on it to sort of clean it up a little bit. Still 1949. I said this was definitely one of my favourite periods of Penguin sort of design. And loads of great titles sort of published during this time, of course. Oh, this one's looking a bit dirty, isn't it? A big stain on the front. Foxed inside and out. Yeah. So this is going to go on the old upgrade list, number 714, Thursday afternoons, Monica Dickens. The thing is, there's nothing wrong with it. It's an absolutely fine book to read, but as a collectible Penguin, it's just, you know, it's just not great, compared to what I'm expecting the books of this age to be in condition-wise compared to the other ones. Because ordinary fiction, there's plenty of copies out there, so there's no point having a lower grade one if you can find a better one out there, and they definitely are out there. Another little mark right down the bottom there. How dare they? Now this is an example of a double with a wrapper on. K. O'Brien. So Penguin did do this sometimes on the big thick ones. They would put them in a dust wrapper, such as this. So underneath it's nice and bright. I'm not sure exactly how many they did, and I haven't got that many in my collection, but it's nice to see it's complete with the wrapper. Steinbeck, great stuff here. Once again, the crime is looking the poorer cousin to the fiction stuff, the ordinary fiction, simply because it's a crime title. It's just been through the wars a bit more than other books, and this one is not great, unfortunately. So I think 718, The Horizontal Man, Helen Eustis. It's a bit too far gone for me, and I'm going to pop it on the old upgrade list. I'm going to slide a little bit of glue just down the spine there. I'll stop the cover coming off anymore. And when I've replaced it, I want it to be presentable, because I'll put it in my swaps box, or books that I sell on, which I do sort of quarterly on my other channel. So if you're interested in buying some old books, some of my doubles and things like that, you need to be subscribed to the other channel and get in quick, because they do tend to go quite quickly, because I'm so cheap. A tiny little bit at the top there. Right, that's given that one a little bit of a repair. Not ideal, it's not the greatest of condition, but I'll pop it on my wants list, and I'm sure I won't have too much trouble getting up an upgrade to that little fella. Paris of Troy. Yeah, a little bit warm, but yeah, acceptable. Peter Cheney. Can ladies kill? Well, yes. It's the short answer. Tiny little mark of something on the inside front cover. My most annoying place to put pencil marks. Okay. Dangerous Curves. These are part of a little Cheney lot, 5 Peter Cheneys. Not sure how well these did, because it was only a few years later and he moved over to Pan. So my suspicion is that these Penguin editions, even though they sort of treated him to 5 books being published simultaneously, my suspicion is they didn't go that well. And he thought, I'm going to try it with Pan and their illustrated jackets. I wonder if that was the reasoning behind it. Who can tell, eh? Who can tell? Dark Duet. This is another one which I'll put straight on my wants list, because it's got a cut corner. It's probably one I've had right from about the earliest days when I was collecting penguins. And these sorts of ones would be very, very easy to replace, just for a few pounds each. And I'll sell that one on for, like, £1.50 or something like that. So Dark Duet, number 722 by Peter Cheney. Stick it on the upgrade list. Poison Ivy. Nothing to do with the Batman villain. Some of the markings there, but they're in Phantom Pen, so there's no way I'm going to get those out. Anthony Saunders, that looks like his signature. And the last one of these is a real nice copy, that one, of the Urgent Hound. See, that's really beautiful. Really, really nice copy. So that's probably come from a dealer at some point. There we are. So let's give that little wedge a brush. so that they're all looking groovy. Massive improvement on those. Lovely. There's 5 chainies. Right. Sergeant Lamb of the Ninth, Robert Graves. A great author. Now this one's just starting to come away, so I am going to slide some glue into that. Not a lot, just a slither here, because the glue's sort of aged on these, sadly, and this copy's otherwise pretty nice. So let's get some glue in there, stop it getting any worse. There we are, I think that should be enough. Just sort of coming away, this was. Apart from that, a really nice sort of robust copy, so yeah. These things happen. The Velvet Well. Amazingly, these are still 1949. I was certain we were going to hit 1950 today, but it hasn't happened. This has got a bit of a slight bend. It's been read multiple times, I think. Yeah, this one's going to go on the upgrade list. So 728, The Big Clock. Kenneth Fearing. Yeah, it's really... it's like it's water rippled for starters, and then it's been read and reread multiple times. So can't do a lot with that. So except put it on the wants list for an upgrade. Soft answer 729. Ghost of a price there. Tenpence by the look of it. Verdict of 12. Nice bright copy of that one. Strawberry round that. Bottom of the spine there I'll re-glue. Says first, 1949, £2, which may have been what I paid for it, which was probably quite generous for one in this condition, in all honesty, but there you go. So there you go, and you can see clearly I need to get some glue just down in that trench there. Stick is somewhat alive this morning. There we are. I think that'll be enough to keep that bad boy in place. Yeah, not perfect, but it'll do. It'll do. August Folly. All right. Here's another big one. Royal Flush. Bit of bottom of the spine there. This is a very, very borderline copy. Look at that. Oh my goodness, let's check the inside then first. Yeah, it looks like this one's just... It's not the worst, but it's pretty bad. So I think what we do, we can just get our brush in there. Okay. Getting it everywhere as usual. There's a little bee on the back cover there, blimey. Everywhere you look. But now we should be able to get some glue directly on there with the old glue stick. So I'll put some. We can afford to be quite liberal with this because it's going on really, really easily. So in actual fact, it's actually an easier fix than some of the other ones we've had today. But it's made, the reason it's happened is because the book is just so big. And it's obviously been read a few times. And the 70-year-old glue, 74 years old, this book, has just aged. And it needs this little run-in repair. But that's okay, that's exactly why we're doing it. Run-in repairs. Saving these for future generations. Anyway, I think that's about as good as we're going to get it. Except obviously give the top a really good brush, which it definitely needs. Evidence of things seen. So this one, 1951. So this one evidently came out a little bit later, but numerically this is the right place for it. Small cover tear there, but nothing too bad. Here's another biggie, a double volume. Got the two penguins on the front, but also in a dust wrapper. So I would imagine that the dust wrapper in this particular case has probably done a pretty good job. There we are, look, of protecting the book. So underneath it's lovely. But the wrapper itself is a little bit on the worn side, but we won't mind because it's looked after the book, which is good stuff. Coroner's pigeon. Look at that, 10 at a time. And this is 10 Marjorie Allinghams that were published simultaneously. Some of them had already been published and they were reprinted. And that was one of them. Black Plumes. Yeah, very firmly into 1950 now. J. Connington. A big £4 inside. That seems a lot for that condition, but knowing me, I would have bartered the guy down to £2.50. I reckon. £4, you're having a laugh, mate. £2.50. Get on then, since it's you. Right across the contents page, someone's put a signature in. Sadly, not Simonon. That would have been good, wouldn't it? That would have been a find of the day. What possesses someone to sign their books across the title page? I mean, seriously, unless you're the author, why would you do it? Why, I ask you? Okay, that's that bit. A little miniature 1 in 6 over there. And also here it says M160, so whether that was the last time it was read in January 1960, quite possibly. There we are. So a nice early Simonon there. That's 2 books in that one because they're so short, some of those. Right, let's give this pile a brush. Lovely. What a mess these make, eh? Right. Lovely. Right, 740. Last pile now. £2 inside there. I think this one might be the scarce one, Trouble Is My Business, rather than Farewell My Lovely. But you know, I can't remember. No, this is the one. It actually says this is the first publication in Great Britain. So this, in actual fact, is a Raymond Chandler first edition. So that's the one to look out for. And yeah, my copy's not too bad of that one. Farewell My Lovely is not the one. That had been printed before. It's Trouble Is My Business. Although it's Raymond Chandler, so I would suggest that both of them should be on your radar. Pretty nice copy, that one. Just starting to come away on the bottom of the spine there, so let's slide a little slither in of glue if I can. There we are. No footprints in the bush. A vintage 1 and 6. And then it's like of the 2nd of the 5th, 67, which may have been the last time this was read. And on the front cover as well, blimey Riley. There we are. So that rubber has really done its job there, because in actual fact it's a really nice copy of this one. A couple of pages folded over as well. God. There we are. Remove the bodies. There's a famous one, isn't it? Great Gatsby in the first Penguin edition. It's pretty sought after. One I wouldn't mind a better copy of. I keep trying to buy it off a dealer's list and I never get it. One day. Feeling the cover for any like little irregularities. Biography of Edward Lear. Lovely. Huxley. Looks a nice copy. Yeah, look, from the H. Arnold collection. So if you've watched any of my previous videos, you'll know about the Harry Arnold collection. So that's his signature there, which will be staying in. So Harry Arnold was the Penguin warehouse man, and I bought a small batch of books from his collection 30 years ago, and they were all signed by him inside. Had his own ownership signature, and it's almost like a pedigree collection. I didn't get any of the real rare ones out of it, but I got what I got. I'm really pleased with, because they're all in incredible condition. Another nice one, and a couple of D.H. Lawrence's. So this one very much going to go on the upgrade list. Just number 751, D.H. Lawrence, Kangaroo. Just very, very, very toned indeed. It's almost fallen to bits, this one. So it's like aged beyond belief. So not a great copy, that one. Lost Girl, this one's a bit better. And this is the last one to look at today. 752, The Lost Girl. Right, so we need to just finish these off now with some brushing. Sure, I've made a mess, really, haven't we? But the books look so much better for it, you know. They really do. And I've spotted a few more that I can put on my wants list to upgrade. So next week, I've got to admit, I had a lot of fun. Last week, rather, I had a lot of fun doing those large format annuals. So I'm very, very tempted to do another couple of boxes of those again next week. So sort of carry on, do another 10 Blue Peter, and then the rest of them will be whatever comes naturally in the collection. So I think that's probably what I'm going to do next week. So look out for that in a week's time. Put these back over here. Obviously, there's plenty to see old video wise on the channel. So we've got lots and lots of old videos, and because they're quite long, there's a lot of content to go through, so do check the backlist out. There may well be stuff in there that you've missed, because there's a lot of it. But yeah, thanks for watching today, as always. I hope you've enjoyed what you've seen and found it interesting and hopefully relaxing as well. Thanks as always to my patron and channel members. Support this channel and my other one over on my other channel. There's links to that, and to Patreon, of course. There we are. Yeah, and I shall look forward to seeing you again next week with another video. Bye.